Shri Tripura Rahasyam MahatmyaKhandam. Invocation and Blessings. Om. Amba Shambhavi Chandra Mauliravala Aparna Uma Parvati Kali Haimavati Shivatrinayani Katyayani Bhairavi Savitri Nava Yauvana Shubhakari Samrajya Lakshmi Prada Chidrupa Paradevata Bhagavati Shri Rajarajeshwari. Blessed readers, the Commander-in-Chief of the Vedantic army, the great Adi Shankaracharya, in whose heart and tongue uninhibitedly resoned the eternal melody of the Vedic scriptures in its entirety, has very humbly apologized to Shiva and Devi in two excellent hymns, viz. Shiva Paradhakshama Panashtottaram and Devya Paradhakshama Panashtottaram in two different ways. In the former, he seeks pardon for not having remembered Shiva due to the very nature of the individual soul, which is born human. In the latter, he expresses his ignorance, inability, and conviction, ignorance of the procedure of invoking the Divine Mother, inability to do so even after being initiated into the procedure, and conviction that devotion to the Divine Mother removes all pain and sorrow. This admission of the great avatara of Shiva has been the plight of all great maestro of spirituality and continues to be so even to this day. This is all the more true in the case of scientists and poets like Albert Einstein and Tagore, who preferred to simply express their work at the inexplicability and infinity of the origin of this phenomenal creation. The Upanishads too surrender helplessly and declare Yato vacho nivartante aparapya manasa saha, from where words boomerang in helpless silence along with the mind. It is therefore justified that the divine is perceived by many in altogether diverse forms and concepts. One such concept, which is universally accepted as the most powerful one to establish the most loving, materially and spiritually fruitful bond with the unseen being of the divine, is the concept of God as the Divine Mother of the universe, Jagan Mata, Matha or Devi. Among countless works dedicated to this form of God, ranging from the Vedas, including the Upanishads, and the Puranas, with special mention of the Sri Maddevi Bhagavata Mahapuranam and the Markandeya Puranam, to the endless individually composed hymns, in addition to the literary works by various authors like Kalidasa, the Tripura Rahasyam or Haritayana Samhita stands out as an exhaustive and highly analytical treatise on the glory of the Divine Mother and her unity with the Self of all. The term Rahasyam signifies a secret, and Tripura denotes the Divine Mother presiding over all perceptions of the phenomenal universe, which are threesome in nature. 1. The Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. 2. Their powers, creation, preservation, dissolution. 3. The modes of nature, Sattva, sublime, Rajas, passionate, Tamas, nascent. 4. The states of being, Jagat, the state the states of being, Jagrat, waking, Swapna, dream, Sushupti, deep sleep. 5. The Shaktis or powers, Ichha, desire, Jnana, knowledge, Kriya, action, and so on. It is well known that the it is well known that advanced spiritual practices have always been held secret to ensure that the recipient is truly eligible, yogya, for the treasure he aspires to receive. This is expressed by Agastya Rishi to Lord Hayagriva in the prelude to the Lalita Sahasranama Stotram when he implies when he implores Lord Hayagriva to impart the same to him. He thereby inquires whether he had not yet been initiated into the chanting of the hymn because he was not eligible to receive the same. Sri Krishna too repeatedly mentioned in the Gita 4:3 and 9:1 that he is imparting a highly secret knowledge to Arjuna only because Arjuna has the requisite eligibility for the same. By the grace and ordinance of the Divine Mother, we have undertaken this task of translating this wonderful work into English for the benefit of all eligible aspirants who are comfortable with the English language. Sri T.B. Lakshman Rao, who has several extempore compositions of hymns in classical Sanskrit to his credit and who is a recipient of the blessings of several saints and the grace of Divine Mother, has not just translated the work into English but as a devout practitioner of Sri Vidya extracted the essence of many verses like a bee drawing nectar from flowers. Sri E.K. Das, Professor of English, has been truly blessed by Sri Lalita Mahatripura Sundari to edit the entire translation, not just as a proofreader but as an active co-translator by providing refined expression to the translated content. Special blessings and grace are due to Sri D. N. Anand, former Accountant General of the Karnataka and Vice President, National Education Society, whose constant encouragement and active presence have been indispensable in the completion of this work. The cover design by Sri B. Lakshman, Creative Concept, Bangalore. The meticulous proofreading by Sri S. N. Pranesha and the elegant printing by Sri B. N. Nataraj, Sri Nityananda printers have all added indelible luster to the work, and thereby made the contribution eligible for the increment to the immense grace of Divine Mother. With overwhelming gratitude, we offer this book traditionally into the Vamakaratala, left palm of Sri Rajarajeshwari, chanting Guhyati Guhya Gopatri Tvam Grihinasmatkritam Japam Kritam Tapam Siddhir Bhavatu Bhodevi Tvatprasadat Sureshwari. You are the protector of the most occult secrets, O Divine Mother. Accept this offering of ours. May we achieve the ultimate goal of life by Thy grace. We pray to Divine Mother Rajarajeshwari. We pray to Divine Mother Sri Kamakshi Rajarajeshwari Mahatripura Sundari, to several her presence to every reader of every copy of this book in all her grandeur and grace, them with experiential knowledge of our own self. Shri Rajarajeshwari Smriti. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Shri Mahatripura Sundarvai Namaha. Introduction. Sri Tripura Rahasyam is a magnificent text of Shakta tradition that extols the glory of Devi Tripura Sundari. This work is attributed to sage Sumedha Haritayana, who composed it as initiated and instructed by Sri Parashurama. Originally, Lord Mahadeva narrated it to Sri Vishnu and Sri Vishnu to Brahma. On the earth, it was narrated by Guru Dattatreya to Sri Parashurama. Sage Sumedha, who was Alarka in his previous birth, blessed by Devi Balambika, was bestowed to compose this work by virtue of his having addressed his mother as I, the seed letter of learning without the dot or bindu, Anuswara. Sri Tripura Rahasyam has three portions, viz. MahatmyaKhandam, Jnanakhandam, and Charyakhandam. The Jnanakhandam explains vividly the basics relating to the absolute reality, the unreality of the world, and the sadhanas necessary at various levels in order to attain the highest knowledge. The Charya Khandam, which is not traceable, is said to contain the rules of ritual conduct. The MahatmyaKhandam, which is the major portion of Sri Tripura Rahasyam, not only includes the glory of the Devi Mahatmyam and the grandeur of Sri Lalitopakhyanam, but also provides many legends and secrets that enable a clear understanding of the concepts of Sri Vidya. The immaculate functioning of the universe confirms the existence of a transcendent superpower which has no name, form, or gender, and which causes, cares, and consumes this creation. To facilitate the ignorant to grasp the transcendent, which is pure consciousness and bliss, the seers have perceived by their penance. Several forms of the Almighty. The Shakta philosophy believes in the motherly manifestation of the Supreme Power. The Puranas and texts like Sri Tripura Rahasyam, through several anecdotes and allusions, bring home the uniqueness of the transcendental cosmic consciousness, which is not different from the consciousness of the individual being. The method of realizing the non difference is elaborated in the sacred texts. The triumph of the divine over the demon is the fundamental issue tackled in all the scriptures. Lengthy description of prolonged, fierce battle probably convey the message that it is a challenging task to subdue the demon in the individual. The transcendental Devi has sportively configured the creation, combining three aspects such as sattva, rajas, and tamas, sthula, shukshma, and karana, ichha, gnana, and kriya, and so on. And she is the empress controlling all. All activities fall under the domain of ichha, desire, gnana, knowledge, and kriya, action. The desire to accomplish a task invariably requires the necessary knowledge and its actualization. In the Tripura Rahasyam, the desire of Kama, the son of Devi Mahalakshmi, to vanquish Lord Shiva was not accomplished till he acquired, by the blessings of Devi Tripura, the knowledge of Saubhagya Vidya. The Devi who controls these triad domains is called Tripura Sundari. The exposition of the Saubhagya Ashtottara is an excellent boon to her devotees. Similarly, many anecdotes have a subtle message to the reader. The detailed description of the Srinagara, Sri Chakra, which is the abode of Devi, is exquisite and enthralling. See chapter 56 to 58. Sri Chakra is the supreme dynamic mystic diagram that represents both the microcosm and the macrocosm. It is synonymous with the divine couple Shiva and Shakti. In its ramparts and situated different Shaktis who are the embodiments of the various physical, mental, and transmental tendencies in the universe and in the human being. The central point, Bindu, which is the storehouse of the total universal energy, is the ultimate stage where the individual merges with the Devi. Sri Adi Shankaracharya, in his Tripura Sundari Veda Padastava, has categorically concluded the uniqueness of the consciousness. Thus, the devotee has to identify his body with the Sri Chakra and his soul with the Devi. Bhandasura, who represents the ugly individual ego, after enjoying the cravings of his senses, desperately longs for merger with Devi and is finally liberated. The esoteric implication in the concept of Devi is brought out beyond doubt in the following stanzas of Sri Tripura Rahasyam, chapter 76, stanzas 21 to 23. Devi Tripura Sundari is the charioteer of the human body. Devi Tripura Sundari is the charioteer of the human body, drawn by the sensory horses. The same message is in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, stanza 61. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hridaya Arjuna Tishvati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rdani Mayaya. The Tripura Rahasyam contains many beautiful hymns on Devi. A study of this text is bound to elevate the soul to a level of merger with the transcendent reality. However, the mode of worship, whether external or internal, has to be learnt from an adept in the path. I consider myself as most fortunate to have had the opportunity to undertake the English translation of Sri Tripura Rahasyam, MahatmyaKhandam. I offer my humble pranamams at the lotus feet of Mahamandaleshwara H.H. Sri Sri Jayendra Puri Swamiji, Peethadhipati of Kailasa Shrama, Mahasamsthanam, who has blessed, motivated and guided me in my task. I do not see any difference between his love and the grace of Devi Gnanakshi Rajarajeshwari. Our gratitude to Professor E.K. Das, who has imparted glitter to the translation by correcting the syntax and suggesting synonyms, to Sri D.N. Anand, a practical philosopher, for his continuous encouragement and involvement. Our thanks are also due to Vidwan S.N. Pranesha for meticulously reading the proof of the Sanskrit verses, and to Sri B. Lakshman for developing a sublime cover design for the book. We thank Sri B. N. Nataraj of Sri Nityananda Printers and his staff for their excellent execution of the printing. The beauty of the book has been enhanced by many pictures of the deities, and we thank them all who provided them for publication. We pray and surrender to Devi Sri Mahatripura Sundari to pardon the mistakes in the translation and bless one and all. Sri Chakrashwari Bindupita Nilaye Sri Rajarajeshwari Sri Vidye Tripure Paratpara Tare Kamesha Bamankage Akhyanang Tripura Rahasyakamidang Vaideya Vakye Kritang Tvatyadarpitamastu Shankari Sada Mang Pahi Gyaneshwari. Shri Gyanakshi Rajarajeshwari Vijayate.